lesson we're going to take a look at just a few more positions and how to move between them in the A minor pentatonic scale. Okay, now here I'm putting my third finger on the 5th fret to create a new scale pattern, again still with A minor and still the pentatonic. Instead of my first finger going this way, I'm going 3rd, 1st, 3rd, 1st, 3rd, and 1st finger again. The notes A, G, E, D, C, A. And if I want to continue, I can go G on the 4th string, E, D, C, A, and here's my G again, back to A. Now, why you may want to play some phrases down here is a good question. Compared to down here, there are a few things you can do that aren't available to you down here. For example, if I go from this note to that note, the two notes are both on two separate strings, whereas here they're on one string. And that lends itself really nicely for phrases involving pull-offs. I'll just show you one. There's a nice hammer-on and pull-off. Now if I was down here, I'd have to go and play those notes on two different strings. One more time. So let's take a look at a few phrases that sound quite nice in this position. Again. Hammer on and pull off. Back. Notice I lift my fingertip off as I go from each string to the next, so I don't get a blurring of notes together. Then to here. And I could go and then hit this note and slide back to this position where I may want to throw in some of these other possible leads we looked at. The other thing is too, if we're back here, I can actually bend this note now, which is rather awkward. Ouch, the bend with the first finger. As you can see, that's quite difficult. But back here, it's comfortable because I can squash all my fingers for a proper bend. Here's some more we can look at, starting here for a phrase. Sped up. And I could go and slide to this position. So as you can hear, I'm getting quite a nice mixture of possibilities. And again, here's my scale. Slide to move positions. Let's take a look at some problems posed by moving positions along the neck as we're soloing. Let's start with our original first 3-note pattern. Slide. Now, when we're down here and we're soloing, if you can remember earlier, I said be careful you don't trip over your fingers going down this way, because they seem to cross over, and if you're playing fast, you can wind up sometimes making little errors that you don't want. Now, here's one way out of this position. End here, and instead of working your way down like this, go from this note straight to the 5th fret, 2nd string, like that. Now, I'll show you what it will sound like. Notice I put in a quick, fast bend. I went to the 5th fret, threw in a bend, and then I was back into my main patterns and all the possible phrases that this position presents. One more time. And that's sped up, but slowed down. Then just about anything, 2-note patterns, some bends and some rounding off. Another problem is moving, as we pointed out earlier from here. We can go into some slides. But another problem is to get from here right down to the 14th fret without having to slide along the way we did just earlier. Now there's a few things you can do. Supposing you end a phrase on this note here, which is my 5th fret, 3rd string, you can take your middle finger, place it anywhere around here, hit it very fast, and slide to the 14th fret. That'll get you down to this position instantly. And then you're free to solo at will down here. If you end on a bend and you want to slide there, you're going to have to mute the string with the right hand and then effectively do the slide. That's not too hard actually. If you do the bend, when you're ready, mute it and go down there. Phrasing wise, one of the problems of going from this position to here is if your mind is set on moving, make sure whatever you do to finish the phrase off while you're down here. Don't just be soloing and then panic and move. Complete what you're doing musically. And once again, give yourself time to breathe and think, and then slide. It's a little harder to go from our root note to the slide. You may want to end with your 3rd finger, and your middle finger will cut across onto this string. And the slide is so quick you don't actually hear the start note. It just sort of goes there. Now while I'm down here, let's complete the pattern that we did further down the neck here. There's our bend, which is the same as this note, but we can go slide onto the 1st string and along there. Coming down, A, G, E, D, slide back, C, A. By now you're probably noticing there's a lot of familiarity in the shapes that we're now using to connect these scale patterns. This pattern is an alternative to going this way. This note being this note, of course. Now I'm going to conclude with soloing over some background music using all these patterns.